Hello, and welcome to eSGT Official for round 9, the final round of this GT3 Series. Ooh, are we excited? Am I excited? My name is DirtenDK, and for once I'm not on Half the Race Gone, but I'm here for the first time on eSGT, and I'm very excited about it. I've been looking forward to this. It's my first time on the channel. It's my first time outside of my homely, safe place that is my own channel. So what a pleasure to be here, and I hope that you will enjoy the action that is to come tonight here from Sarthe de la Sarthe. It is to be a very, very intense game, because we have two VLX drivers, and if they're both present at least, I think we're in for a bit of a tough clinch. Nova's here at least in his Mazda, currently second in the overall standings with 256 points. And I just have to go through and see if we actually have Felix, because I haven't seen him, and that's gonna be a bit of a problem for the German if he's not showing up. So, but we are awaiting the second stock check by now. I think we're about 10 minutes from it, and that'll be just before we get the qualifying session underway. Now let me know, I'm running a new set of stream settings, so if something's too low, like engine noises, or Felix is, oh, Maverick, a good bit of insider info there, but will he make it? That's what I'm interested in knowing, because if he does, which I sincerely hope that he does, we will have a very, very big battle between two teammates on our hand. Two points are what separates them coming into this final round. But let's go through the field anyways. 2 minutes late. Oh, that should be by now. Then let's see. It would be very unlike a German to be late. Probably be feeling very bad about this. I was about to say it's a whole new field of contenders. I know a lot of these drivers from other races beforehand, from the IGTL and different stuff, the TT Cup and such, so they're not all that much strangers to me. Of course, there is a couple of teams and drivers that I've yet to encounter. My DNA being one of them. They've got two drivers with the Judoka in a Corvette, and they've got 93 in that gorgeously aggressive looking Lamborghini Huracan, as he just taps the wall. On an outlap, and it's in practice. So what does it really matter? But indeed, I do agree, Maverick. I do hope that he makes it as well. We've got, of course, VLX represented by quite a number of drivers. We've got Nova, the aforementioned, in the Mazda Atenza, a very competitive Group 3 car. I don't know how it's been balanced and bopped up and nerfed down over the last bit of time, but it was quite good back when I ran it in the NES, so I take it that it's still somewhat competitive and chewy in a Lexus. And those Rolex liveries always look sharp. I think it's Felix making pretty much all of them, but they look wonderful indeed. We've got JL, the Portuguese, for the virtual life experience as well. Of course, Phoenix Esports also well represented in one of the other Mazdas here in the pits is Mr. Cooper, Darkrai. Looking forward to see his kind of speed here at La Sarthe here tonight. Oh, and by the way, welcome! How could I forget? Lorenzi, nice to have you along. Ethan, welcome to you. Best of luck with the race. Same goes to FW in the other split. Of course, I've already mentioned Maverick and Benji just joining in here early days. A pleasure to have you all along, and I hope you enjoy your stay. I should seriously have some personal sponsorship in form of some coffee deal or something. Drink so much coffee. Anyway, we have the second round of stuck checks. This is not the race start, don't worry. Haven't missed anything. Still got 20 minutes of qualifying to go, but this is the second round of stuck checks. And as you might make from the name, the stuck check is a check to see if anyone's stuck on that grid. It's a persisting problem in the world of Gran Turismo, one that we've had time and time again. And so the necessity of the stuck check simply cannot be underestimated. Question is, was DJ too early on this one? Guess that's why you apologize, but no one's stuck, and that's the important part. I think someone's actually not here. Oh, Ryan! Have you brought it along to your new team, Ryan? I heard was it today that's your birthday, or was it yesterday? Anyway, congratulations on it, mate. And to quote your old pal Jimmy, oh, was it like 12? It turned. Competing with Callister, Ryan is to be the youngest, just the youngest. But memes aside, it's nice to have you along, and in all seriousness, I hope you've had a nice day here on your birthday. Oh, we've got Alex Buncombe with us. I think he's filling in. He seems to like to do this. He was with us for a couple of rounds of the TSR Super Touring. He's been there or thereabouts before. He's such a fast driver, and has that one thing called racecraft, that's for sure. So, hello, single filer. Best of luck to you when we get that far. Let's get back to track. So Nova with a bit of info, with Felix being home now, but he hasn't made the stuck checks. And that, if that stuck check was official, question is Felix gonna make it? Chinos Consta, nice to have you along as well. I see they have hung on. It's good to see. That warms my heart. Now I should also mention that I've become Dutch in the meanwhile, and I deeply apologize for this. No, I should also mention God, can't speak today either. And I should probably have had Tati along. That would have helped a bit on it. Probably to keep me on my A game in the language that is English. But it was the plan that she would be joining me in the booth for this race today. Sadly, she was not able to make it, which I think is a bit of a shame. A big shame, actually. It would have been so much fun being two in the booth, and I've seen some of the work she's done, and quite the competent broadcaster as well. So I think it could have been a whole lot of fun, but we'll have that for another day. But let's go through the field. I was doing it before, but I didn't finish it because all of a sudden there was some stuck checks going on and all types of stuff. But we got single filer for Vanquish Esports running the Toyota Supra Group 3 concept. As mentioned, the DNA boys, Chewy for virtual life experience in the Lexus. We've got Thanatos for the Escuderia GTMX from Mexico. Very nice to see the Mexican side of GT Sport Racing here represented at the highest level. We've got Kinetic. Oh, that was not. We've got Kinetic. Kinetic GTS is represented here as well by Neutron, and they've got another entry as well. Oh yeah, Fullness, that is in the pits, both running the Aston Martin Vantage. Oh, they got three actually. They've got three Astons, that is X11, also representing Kinetic. So quite a bit of drivers on their side as well. Same goes for Phoenix Esports in the end. We've got DJ, we've got Ethan as well, and Not to mention Cooper or Darkrai. So 12 minutes until we get the qualifying session underway. And I think Ethan is on his way to pole position here. I'd expect him to be Dutch with that manner of driving. Oof. Close call there, DJ. We didn't never get really to see what he's driving, but DJ is in another one of the Supras. I expect them to do well here. They seem to be strong on top speed, although they could have been nerfed. I must admit to the fact that I'm not as updated on the BOP and the official BOP at least. Mind you, we're running a no tuning lobby here. We've got tire wear ×2. We've got fuel ×5. So if the drivers, now what I've heard at least is that we'll be seeing drivers aim for a one stop, but quite a bit of fuel saving will be necessary in order to actually pull off one stopping here. Of course, Sarthe, a long pit lane. This is one of the tracks where a pit stop will consume the most time out of any in the game, really, and that's why I think it would be crucial for drivers to make that one stop work. Of course, some of the cars are decidedly better on fuel than others, so I think we'll be seeing a lot of reluctancy to maybe overtake in the early parts of the race, and then when we get past that pit stop, coming into the final couple of laps of the race, it could really explode. Of course, though, it's always as such, if the slipstream is broken, it can be tough to get back on up there without the not the help maybe of bump drafting one another. There are strategies to get around that, but we'll have to see how the drivers are going to be attacking this. 10 laps, so we're looking at about 40 minutes or so, plus minus maybe a little bit more. I could very well be wrong. Times 5 fuel. It will make it. It's like running 25 laps in real life. That's never gonna happen. So times 5 fuel, where we might be seeing 2 stops actually, and that could be a stretch, even though, because that would necessitate running 4 laps. That's like running 20 laps in real life. That's quite a long time. But of course, with this like fuel saving, we'll also save more fuel than you would, you know, like less fuel saving gets you longer when it's at the edge of a knife, so to say, with these kind of fuel settings. But it's nice to have these kind of strategies in shorter racing, so you don't have to have the fast, long stretched. I'm a big fan of endurance racing, but sometimes it can be nice to have it in a compressed form, and I think this 40 minutes is perfect, and it's just what they need to aim for in like future finals and in qualification rounds, and also in the FIAs in general. Should just have a bit longer race, maybe even a longer day. I think a lot of people would appreciate that. We've got Helder here cheering on JL. Another Portugueser, a geezer he is from Portugal. That makes him a Portugueser, obviously. But the original Portugueser, there can only be one. From Grosso. thing worth mentioning here that I haven't touched upon yet, being my very first eSGT race, there's a lot of things to grasp when coming into new kind of series. They all have their own rules and their particular things. One thing I actually really like with this is that penalties must be served on the following straight, which means that you can't just compile up a lot of seconds of penalties, not really have an effect of it, break the slipstream to the guy behind, and just, you know, serve him at the end of the race or just carry him over the line or whatever. Here you actually have to slow down and get rid of the penalty, and that really makes it, I think, a bit of an extra carrot, so to say, to stay within those white lines and pick up those penalties. That said, here at Sarthe, it's incredibly difficult not to pick up a penalty, and there are hugely frustrating places here at Tête Rouge, and of course the entrance to Indianapolis being, I think, my personal opinion at least, by far the worst of them, because the normal racing line will by 19 out of 20 times give you a penalty in that one, unless they fixed it. Since last time I drove here in GT Sports, it's been a couple of months by now. But that's gonna be an issue. So whether we're gonna have to see drivers staying somewhat conservative, or whether it's just gonna be full-on attack and just hope for the best, I don't know. But these drivers, of course, expect them to be able to at least know where the limits are, and try to avoid them. But the thing with track limits, it's the same. I've heard it's the same at Spa in this game. I actually don't know it yet, but if not, we should be the only ones to really get it right. Jorge Luis, nice to have you along as well. Felix is in. Oh, he's in the Audi R8. That is a very nice car, I gotta say. And a very nice sounding car as well that V10 just likes to scream on. And it doesn't look bad in VLX colors either, that doesn't. Penalty there. Judoka on the Corvette. I'd expect the Corvette to do well here, but VLX Nova on a very strong pace here in practice, at least. That said, now that's through the Porsche curves, and Judoka is on a purple lap. Trials, how nice it is to have you along. And congratulations, can I just say that? Congratulations on a very nice podium place in the ILMS. 6 hours of Road America in iRacing. Alongside Martin, 2 guys, 6 hours in a little spicy split. And a spicy result indeed. Congratulations, my boy. That's beautiful. Oh, that's a good one. Damn you, Trials. breaking my armor, chinking it up. Now, it wouldn't be one of my broadcasts if I didn't take a time out and a moment to appreciate a good tree cam. Now, let it be known, I know a good tree cam when I see one. And I'm looking at it right now. Look at this magnificent tree cam. These... Oh! No! DJ, what are you... Single filer. There could be a stream delay. I am running the normal streaming mode, not like any ultra low latency kind of mode, because it seems to be a bit heavy on my PC, and I'm running a dinosaur of a computer, so I'm trying to make it as stress-free as possible on the poor old machine to make sure that you get the smoothest possible experience and the easiest possible experience for your systems to load. So should any of you out there be on Potato McDonald's Wi-Fi connection, should be able to run a fluently running stream after all. That said, I am by no means a streaming wizard, so I might be wrong. And if that is, if that's the case, please tell me so. So it'll just be me being just a bit wiser at the end of the day, if that's the case. Now, with that said, we are about to get 20 minutes of qualifying here from La Sarthe underway. That means drivers don't have too long to get out of the pits, which is exactly what we're seeing here, that everybody's pretty busy getting out there, because in the end, they do have around 20 seconds. Those 20 seconds are more or less spent, and that means if you want to complete 5 laps, I don't know how it is actually, they can probably get to complete their laps as well. So 5 laps, that's with the outlap. It's going to be 4 flying laps here in the space of 20 minutes, I'd say. It is, of course, a bit of a problem if the delay between what I say and when chat comes on screen, or like the spread, so to say, is too large. It makes the interaction difficult. Sometimes I'm also just really slow. But of course, like single filer, for instance, knows exactly how far and where we are. So that's a very accurate estimation of the actual differences. Returning viewers from Half the Race Gone will know that I'm a big fan of the qualifying format we're using here. And by that basically just means action. Oh, that's contact on the outlap! I'm not sure. I'm not even sure I can run the replays. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's another very good reason to actually have this. So we can run the replays in qualifying! I don't know if is that netcode or a little bit of contact between Ethan and single filer. I'd say as much that Ethan is like glued close to the rear end of single filer. I think the Dutchman, Vanquish Esports drivers, had enough of it there as well, and just lets that Phoenix Esports Ferrari through. Everybody wants to talk. Give me the toe, please. will they be in their respective team chats at the end of this qualifying session? No, but he go to the front then. It's almost Monza-like tactics. Seeing drivers really up for just trying to be in the perfect place for that lap. That said, qualifying is not always that important here at the Sarthe. Of course, because you have so much straightaway, there's possibilities to gain back up. And a grid start, of course, with full start check here, that does make it a little bit more open. So you could come from behind on such a start and actually make up ground. You can also lose ground big time, and some of these cars are notorious for being worse hit off the line than others. So it's Chewy on the first flying lap, and of course with this qualifying format we will also have the absolute joy of being able to see what lap times are being posted in the in-game chat box underneath the driver standings graphics, as you're all, I'm sure, well aware of, but just putting it out there for good measure. And that's really nice, especially for me, I think. For you as well, then. It actually gives a chance, a possibility of having some kind of overview over what's happening in the session here as JL. So that. Oh, JL takes a big old spin. Not a big old spin, but certainly loses the rear. It's the dirty tires, I think. Just isn't the grip. That looked a little strange, but that's that lap gone for sure. He didn't like that rear, huh? Thanks. Certainly say that as well. Not the best of first laps for JL, that's for sure. Single filers found a place, but it's also picked up half a second's worth of penalty. Next on track, it's the two DNA cars. They seem to have clean space and they're running cleanly for the time being. It's 93 in the Lambo. And then Felix in the Audi R8. And the Kinetic drivers and the three Astons seem to be all at the bottom of affairs here as well. That's of course not in standings wise, but just running. They were out late. They might be trying to work together. Although here X11 quite a bit of way back. And there's actually nothing but air between them. Oh, Ethan getting just as we switch in on the way out of Indianapolis. That's Ethan with a bit of a Shakira kind of belly dancing thing there going on, shaking his rump. Keeps it under control, although I would say it's probably not the fastest way to get through there. Good thing for Ethan, it's not a long straight. Have to see how these first laps compare, although I don't necessarily think that this will be the deciding laps of the session. Oh, Chewy's picked up a 0.4 second penalty as well. Let's see where exactly that was. Into the Ford chicane. And that. Actually unaware if that's going to add to his lap time or if it's going to completely invalidate it. It seems it's going to add the time to his lap time. So Nova 54.2, that's provisionally best. Nope, that's not, because Cooper Darkrai is now provisionally on pole position with a with a 54.0 that is very, very strong lap time from the Phoenix Esports Master driver. We've got Nova, another Master there, so my feelings about the Tensa here seems to not have misled me. It seems to be pretty much on point, at least for the opening couple of laps. Shakira Omega. Shakira! Because my rears don't lie? I don't know. Worth noting that Darkrai, Nova, and Single Filer, I was about to say the 86, the Supra. So it's very strong here. Likes that. Top speed, but they're within 0.4 of a second on the first lap here, so very, very close. And then it's another half a second down to Felix there. It's provisionally in 4th, Judica for DNA in 5th. So far, DJ for Phoenix Esports in 6th place with Ethan 7. And then it's Thanatos for the Scuderia GTMX in 8. And with that, we've got half the session gone, half the qualifying gone, and just under 10 minutes to go. Are they gonna make? I'm actually not sure of how exactly it is. Will they be able to complete the lap if just they pass the line in time? If it's just the normal 3 minutes that you have, that's not gonna be sufficient. W, oh my god. Oh. Jesus. I'm sorry, Charles told me to be serious. I'll do my best. Lexus. Which of the cars would be good on fuel here? I'm actually not sure. I know that the Mazda is running some kind of small turbo engine. Is it even a 4-banger? Could actually be. In theory, that should be fuel efficient, but you never know. And it's also a big car. It's actually a bit of an incognito boat. When you see it, the Atenza, especially from behind, it got girth as well. It's no mate, that's for sure, but it's got girth as well. Darkrai. And the question is he about to actually improve on that lap? I don't think he is now with that half a second penalty. It might not be a disaster. As you can see, we're not using tire or fuel burn, tire wear or fuel burn here for the qualification. Now Single Filer goes into the 53s by some margin, 53.3 for a new provisional pole position time by the Dutchman. Vanquish Esports and that Toyota Supra very much on top of things for now. And that's by 0.7 of a second. And Darkrai has picked up another 0.5, half a second penalty, I'm sorry. 0.5, half a second. Same, but same. Just having a second look at where that off-track infringement happened. Oh, there it is. Cutting the inside of the second part of the Dunlop chicane. And that has now grown into an entire second. Being on a purple lap, that must be hugely frustrating. eyes peeled to that championship battle that's going on. The 2 points that is all separating Nova and Felix, the two virtual life experience drivers. And it's Felix with the advantage in the Audi, leading by 2 points, 258 to 256. To be fair, on single filer, if anywhere in the world you can actually type while driving or do like a million other things while actually racing your car, it's here at Sarthe. And sometimes when racing here for extended periods of time, and especially in the dark, it can sometimes be a little bit hard not to kind of zone out on these very long straights. I'm guessing it must have been worse, like much worse, back when the Mulsanne was just one long straight that ended with a braking zone that was literally in the Group C cars from around 400 kilometers an hour, or like 240 miles an hour, I guess, and then down to back down to, well, a first gear corner. Let's just say that much. But Nova in front by 0.6 of a second, at least for now. And it'll be a Tensa versus Audi. And look at that Lexus, it looks so small in the background. There are times where it just disappears, and then you see, can the Lexus cover the Mazda? No! Lexus covers no Mazda. Mazda covers Lexus, look at this. Complete coverage. Oh, okay, for a second there. There is a, but the Lexus doesn't look like a small car, but it does when you look at it next to the Mazda. So it's a big boy indeed. Oh. We've got a new pole time, and we've got another new pole time. Darkrai's gone into the 52s with a 52.3. And just as Nova was thinking that might have been pole position, turns out it wasn't. That's a half a second penalty. Certainly not optimal for Nova. Let's see, that's that. If that's that track, yeah, then it's exactly that. Dunlop cut seems to have caught several of the drivers out. So provisional standings. Darkrai leading Nova single filer, Felix, Judah Cut, Chewy, Ethan, and DJ. That's your top 8 with 3 minutes and 10 seconds of the session remaining. Just having a look at the positions further down the order. It's Thanatos, JL, it's 93 for DNA in 11th place. Then the 3 Kinetic Astons are the bottom of things for the time being, but I don't think actually the Aston is that strong around here. Seem to remember something about it having a bit more drag than some of the other cars, and suffering and top speed, but being good in the high speed corners and very good in acceleration. Dawson, indeed, there seemed to be a bit of a freight train going on there, but it would be strange, I would say, for VLX to favor one car over the other. And is Felix going to be left in the Audi? Oh, as we... That's exiting the second chicane way, way wide. Here we are on board with Felix. Seems fine on entry, but carries a bit too much speed there through the second part. And that's surely gonna be a penalty as well. But no, that's actually incredible. Might have held off enough though. Madly misses the apex into Mulsanne corner as well. And it's 2 seconds down already. So it's not gonna be an improvement. Single filer is not gonna improve as well. It's gonna be no better than third. Let's see if DNA and Judoka can improve upon 5th place on the grid. But Dawson, they have it's Felix and Nova. 2 points separate the 2 teammates. It's Felix, who are P4 on the grid here, but who's not gonna improve in the Audi R8, and then it's Nova, 2 points behind. So there's nothing strange in it, but I think the strange thing for me would be to favor one driver over the other, in the sense that there's 2 of them fighting for the championship. Got a couple of... Oh, Chewy's game has crashed. That is worthy of PC emojis in chat, even though it is not really a PC, is it? But let's see him PCs. Here's Judoka entering the 4 chicane. Oh, gets a bit sideways, a bit out of control, manages to catch it. What's it gonna be across the line? I think it might just not be enough. Oh, a bit of an improvement, but not enough of an improvement to really make anything out of it. Ethan's crossed the line, same goes for DJ. And that's that's the DNA Lambo as well. It's 93, finishing 10th. Let's see the Astons still running here, Kinetic, with chances to improve. What is it gonna be? No, not for Neutron as well, I think. Somewhat down. What's up, 5S? 5 Signs. Welcome to... I was about to say it's your show. You know what I mean. But qualifying session is done and dusted for, and we're just waiting for the final cars to cross the line, and that I think is just Neutron. That's such bad luck for Chewy though. Well, the question is... if there's any way he can actually rejoin and even like start at the back. I don't think it's a possibility. Oh, as I'm dropping stuff from my table. Oh, did I just break my mouse by dropping it once? It's the first time I've dropped it. Oh, damn it. Now I have no mouse. Oh, there it is. Mouse lifts. That's good. Otherwise, I would be in... I think I have another mouse laying around somewhere, but it's not the best time to have to look for it. So... but it is, for me, a big pleasure to be here on eSGT Official, bringing you this race, first one, hopefully, of many to come. For me, I'll be on for the forthcoming GT3 Series that'll be happening on Sundays to come as well. And I'm a big fan of that GT4 type of touring car level of racing. Although it's not always, it seems, to get the true approval I think it needs, but it creates some of the very best racing. That said, with the slipstream here at Sarthe, the faster GT cars, well, that's necessary. If it goes too slow, it's like an eternity before they get anywhere. And we've seen, I remember we did a charity event here from Sarthe as well, a 6-hour race some time ago, and that was absolutely banging as well. That was some of the best action I've seen. And taking into consideration that the level of the drivers here is pretty high, expecting good things to come from the race, which will be getting underway in a matter of seconds by now. Actually, it is getting very close here with the end of the qualifying session. We shall have a look at the standings, and as quickly as they appear, poof, they're gone again, because we know, actually we don't know what's going through the minds of Cass and the other PD people. Anyway, here it is, yet again the grid order, and this time around with a bit of a better chance to actually have a look at the standings. And of course, big F out for Chewy, who won't be here for this race. Now, keep your eyes on the two cars to the front. On the left side, it's Nova and Felix for the virtual life experience. Oh, we've had a restart called out. We've had a restart called out by DJ. Oh, and that's of course to give Chewy a chance to start from the back. So that's nice to have. I think we'll all be more than happy to wait along for just a second. Well, I'll take a chance to bring you this one. Hey! But nice that Chewy gets the chance to actually drive, to actually race, instead of suffering that poor luck of an ill-timed game crash, which can happen to everyone. You know me, guys, I'm a man of league racing. I don't even know when the FIAs are anymore. Maybe I'd know if PD contacted me, if they asked me, hey, will you broadcast the FIA top splits? And I'd say, yes. What time are they? Then I'd know when the FIAs are. By the way, let's get back to live pictures, because live pictures we have, or I guess it's Judoka parking at the entrance to the Bugatti circuit. And Neutron's parked up as well. I might just keep the... You know what, on second thought, we don't have any live pictures to bring you, I'm sorry. Just a second, we still have a breakup in pictures. We'll be right back. Oh, that's now you're putting me in with royalty, FW, but I appreciate the comparisons. It would be great fun, no doubt about it. I generally do really appreciate having someone doing these broadcasts with. Of course, back in the olden days on ATRG, it was Trals always with me, actually by my side in my apartment physically, and it was always a lot of fun. But it's been much being two guys to actually pull all this time out of our calendars at the same time, be available, and so on. Anyways, we have the second start, the restart, and this time around we have all 14 drivers lined up. And I was saying before, keep an eye on Nova and Felix, the two virtual life experience drivers, starting 2nd and 4th, so from row 1 and 2 on the left hand side, and they're off. Oh, and it's a very bad start for Cooper, who's, oh, he's just getting completely swarmed. Darkrai from 1st and all the way down. Look at that, that single filer, and they're gonna go 3 wide into turn 1 into the Dunlop chicane, and that's Judoka taking the lead. Incredible stuff. And leading now from single filer, Nova's there in 3rd place. It's Thanatas, Felix, Ethan, 93, and they're in 8th place. Is Cooper as they come through Tete Rouge for the first time of 10. That was an absolutely terrible start for Darkrai. Let's have another look. Wang Cam, it's a pretty good cam to show how he's getting swamped, but look how many drivers are already ahead. And I think he actually manages to make up a position or two. That's surely not the best start he's ever had. He's back up into 7th though, fighting back. Single filer is leading them on with the DNA Corvette in 2nd place. But now remember, it's not necessarily the best thing to be leading here early on, unless they can actually break the slipstream down to the following cars. That's now the Viper of the Scuderia GTMX and Thanatas in 3rd place, followed by Nova and Felix. That's that championship battle. Oh, and that's an 8-second penalty for Nova. And what is the immediate cause of such a massive penalty to be handed? That must have been an absolutely huge track cut, I'm thinking. Or a collision. That's an 8-second penalty. I think that was for that small tap. Could that have been it? Let's go to the Wang Cam for a closer look. It's 93. Oh yeah, there's contact. And 93 goes off the track. Oh, and just goes out before he becomes the centerpiece of a very, very big piece of action there behind. I'm not sure Nova's gonna agree really on that 8-second penalty for being touched on from behind. Now there are 3 wide on behind, I think here. Oh, that's an optical illusion as JL is having a look. It's that battle for 7th place at the moment with Ethan in the Ferrari, Darkrai in the Mazda in front. The girthy boy having gone through. And Felix is in 5th place in the Audi, hoping to stay with Nova for as long as possible. But that 8-second penalty, if that will stand, that is a huge one indeed. That is an absolutely huge one. Trying to... The thing is that the rulebooks say that any penalties must be dealt with by the following straight. Now we can safely say that Nova hasn't done that. But the thing is that it didn't seem like a completely justifiable penalty, so it could be up for further revision. We'll have to see what will be of that. So controversial situations here, and a penalty system that's certainly been the case of much debate and much. Doesn't seem like they've exactly made it better here. Kinetic is coming in. That's Neutron, X11, and Fullness all coming in at the end of the first lap. That's rather surprising, I think, but might be they're on to some kind of different strategy here. Single filer has now extended the gap. Worth noting because it's now 2.7 seconds. This could be down to single filer maybe not trying to save fuel and just hammer through That'll be a lot of a gap that has to be made if that is the case. Dawson, yeah. Lorenzki. It's not the first time I've had a laugh trying to get that out of my mouth. Oh, penalties. Penalties are actually turned off now. That PD are absolutely taking this to new heights. Look at this. Is it just me? Single. Is it just me seeing these penalties then being handed? Are the drivers maybe not seeing them? The thing is, the cars are ghosting out as well, as happens when you're serving penalties. It seems very strange for me, to be honest. No, these penalties are being given, and they are being attempted to be served, but it's not really counting down, is it now? I don't really understand why Judica would let off in that way. It's very strange to me. So now Nova up into second place. Oh, and Felix has fallen down into sixth, and that is quite a squabble, it seems, from, well, places 4 and through down to 8th or so. As DJ is really making up places as well, battling fellow Phoenix esports driver Darkrai for 4th place. It's a very good question. If this is light penalties, what the hell is heavy penalties gonna be like? See 25-second stop and go penalties handed out left, right, and center. This is like the heaviest of darkest death metal penalties that you could find. Not any, we were expecting light, radio-friendly rock music penalties in the style of Nickelback. That's not what we got. We got something heavier. A lot heavier. That's for sure. Single filer. Look at that advantage now. 5.5 seconds. I would imagine that to be something with single filer not really trying to save fuel. We're gonna have a sneak peek because we can. That's just under half a tank of fuel left for the Dutchman. Nova. It's in second place. Well, it's not that much less, is it now? That Supra seems to be awfully strong here around the south. As Darkrai is moving on up, getting past on Judoka, who seems to be actually trying to still get rid of, well, some kind of penalty at least. All getting a bit confusing in the end. I'm just gonna get left deducted in the end. That's evil. Anyway, single filer is still extending. No one really seems to be able to keep up. And we're on lap 3 now. Those who've hit around half a tank of fuel by now, are looking good for a two-stopper. So definitely nobody, and that is, I mean, nobody looking to be able to actually one-stop this one. So it seems to be the stretch is to two-stop it. And single filer though, three-stopper here. It's gonna be interesting if so. How much time is single filer actually gonna need? But the lap times for the Dutchman certainly speak in his favor for the time being, and the gap is still growing. It's now 7.2 seconds. Oh, I've prepared you something. Just a little something. We should actually do like this because it's only me. So, keeping that purple lap going, single filer going quicker and quicker. Of course, the car will be getting lighter and lighter as well. It does make sense. See the lap times dropping consistently now. It's Mazda second and third as Dark Race getting through on Judoka. It's really bleeding time trying to get rid of that penalty. And I think this could change the course of the race in the end, because some of these drivers are trying to get rid of the penalties and some of them aren't really. And that could be decisive here. Let's go on board with Felix, the championship leader. But as it stands right now, it's advantage Nova in the Mazda. On board with the Wang Cam here. This Felix has 9.9 seconds of penalty that's been added as well. And single filer's in. Single filer's in. That looks to be interesting. Like, it's at the end of the third lap. If it's gonna be a three-stopper, Dark Rise in as well. And that's 93 coming in. Got just a little more fuel, but not. I mean, not a lot. Well, Dance, usually the rule would be that it has to be served by the following straight, but that rule has been broken so many times already that I don't really think that's the one to go for anymore. To be fair, this seems to be a bug, because the penalties are rather harsh, to be honest. Oh, what's Murray without his brother? So there he goes. Felix now up into second place as Judoka still attempts to get rid of the penalties. Felix also just plowing on with his. The question is, what's that going to mean at the end of the race? Somewhat of an uncertain situation. We're now on lap 4. We are 13.5 minutes into this race. And we've got the two championship contenders, VLX Nova and VLX Felix. That's both of the virtual life experience team. Sitting first and second. Separated though by 4.5 seconds or so. And then it is a big squabble right in behind here. Let's go on board with DJ, who's at the bottom of it. He's sitting 6th at the moment. And that'll give us a premium view of the proceedings that are going on ahead. But these drivers will be aiming for a two-stop. And of course, for whoever who can just stay in the slipstream here, that probably wouldn't be a bad strategy. You could gain that time on either one of those pit stops that are coming up. We'll see everyone opting for full tanks of fuel. Fuel is being burned rather quickly. Yeah, exactly, Dance. That's my thought as well. That they say this penalty system, you know. Oh, there's a touch. He's hit Ethan. That's my best Murray Walker, a la Formula 197 impression. Oh my word! He's hit the Canadian. If anyone's old enough to remember, I hope you will fondly remember. But Dawson, no one should take an 8-second penalty for just that. I mean, that's just not just. It's anything but just. You can't penalize the victim. You know, that's just not right. Oh, there's a bit of action here. Oh, of course, some are breaking into the pits. That's Ethan going on. Oh, Ethan going for a one-stopper here. And the Phoenix esports driver has just been sitting there watching along in the slipstream, but now there's an entire lap to do on not a lot of fuel. And how much time is that lap gonna take in the end? But this could be a very sound strategy if it gets done right, if it gets pulled off by the Canadian here. Could be in for great things. Single filer now back into second place. And then Nova and Felix now separated by no more than half a second or so. And that means effectively what we're watching right now is the battle for the championship between these two drivers. So an interesting one to follow, that is for sure. Last lap for Felix was a 4:20. Hashtag blaze it. Let's see for Nova, seems to be a bit slower. Yeah, no blaze it for Nova, that's a 4:24. That's also where the time loss came from. I wonder if it's just more fuel having to put on Nova's car. Anyway, Felix is well within the slipstream now and doesn't seem to be going anywhere really, although actually, as I say that gap keeps on. Just as I say that, he has enough of losing time. He's well aware that he cannot afford to really be put out the slipstream here of Nova in front. Lucky there that Nova gets a bit of a bad run out of the second chicane. Thanks for noting me of that, Laurenzi. I've been muted since my mic or my mouse isn't exactly perfect. I was quite sure I pressed that button, but apparently it didn't register it for now. So I've just been there talking for a long time without anything coming through, and that just makes me feel a little bit stupid in the end, but that's how it is. I'm back with you to present you the last 2.5 laps of racing, and the heat is really on. But Nova's caught right back up to Felix, who had a comfortable 1.7 second advantage after that pit stop, and the Brit is now absolutely going for it, and it will be for the championship. Mind you, all that stuff I checked out you probably didn't get as well, but the championship standings is so that with the 2 points taking these drivers apart, and the 4 points on difference between first and second, it's just down to who wins this race between these two. Oh yes, I did. We can have another look at it here. There it is. Rusties! Rust with ease. Oh, they're squabbling in behind here. That's JL sending it on Ethan. And the Ferrari not really having anything to defend with. And in the end, it does not really look like the one-stop strategy was the way to go. We're on to the penultimate lap for these car series as well. Now it's Nova leading. It's by 0.8 of a second here up through the S's. So at this point, oh, it's going to be interesting. How long is Felix going to try to just hang out behind Nova and then maybe execute the move on the next lap, on the final lap, when there won't be any time to really overtake? Maybe also force Nova to burn off more fuel. Of course, along with not making mistakes like that, getting poor exit. That was a very shoddy exit, I'm afraid to say, from the first chicane, and that's not gonna assist, but it wasn't bad enough for Nova to lose more than, or Nova to gain, of course. Dirtenisms, Nova to gain more than about 1/10 of a second, and in the bigger scheme of things, that is not going to be anywhere near enough to separate the two here. Single filer is really gaining. That gap was double of what it was before, and mind you, when the Dutchman, because I say when more than if, because it looks like the Dutchman is certain to catch up to these two in front, and on a purple lap by half a second, so you could understand why that single filer is gaining at such a massive rate. He's doing the same pace as he did earlier in the race when he knew that it was just 3 laps ago. It might be a very interesting and clever strategy there to take a longer and saving middle stint, to have a stint in the beginning and the end of the race where you go absolutely full gas. So at this kind of rate, single filer will be back rather quickly with the two, and that could in the end up gaining Felix, who's now leading the championship by those set 2 points. Question is how they're going to be if they tie for points. That would be the situation if, for instance, single filer takes the win in front of Nova, and Felix would end up on 260 points apiece. No, that is not true. Can't make that math up right now, that's for sure. But there's JL on some good pace in the GTR, having taken Ethan past on DJ and Judoka. Let's just see if we can have a bit of a look at what happened here. No, that was already settled into Indianapolis. And so, what about DJ? Is there maybe anything to shoot with? The other Supra of single filer looks to be extremely quick. DJ, I think, could be on a bit of a different strategy here. Mind you, no tuning, which means no setups for the drivers, so it's running him stuck. Here Nova, 0.4 of a second, so hasn't really been able to dispatch Felix as of yet, and it's 1.7 seconds down to single filer as they head on to the final lap. Single filer now just having set the fastest lap of the race by an entire second. That's a 3:54 dead. It's still a bit off of what we saw in qualifying, but that's no surprise. And the two VLX drivers in front are gonna have to get a move on. Now, of course, ideal for Nova would be to have single file again past Felix, but not being able to catch up to the big boy Atenza of the British driving. But at this current rate, single filer is really flying along. Just about 25% of fuel left. That should be enough. Hi, Martin. It's a Murray Brundle. It's the original dynamic, or it's not the original dynamic duo, because that would obviously be Murray Walker and James Hunt. By the way, can you find me a James Hunt, Martin? I need a Hunt. Apology accepted. And congratulations, as I said to Trials when he was here earlier as well. Congratulations to you as well on that brilliant result on behalf of our team. Anyway, back to the racing here, because it is closer than close. Oh, look at this, 1.3 seconds. So Felix is almost borderline getting dropped from the slipstream of Nova in front. Here comes single filer. Makes an easy piece of work of that into the second chicane. Oh, and Nova, I think, got a poor run there. Let's have another look at what happened. Well, that's not entirely enough for us to actually see what happened. So here we're gonna have, oh yeah, sliding about and getting not the best of exits. And that means single filer is now into Mulsanne corner right on the tail. I get egged. You don't have to do it like... You don't have to be so literal about it, man. You don't have to do it now. It's not now. Now. It's like at some point, sometime when you have the time. Could have said that. I thought that went without saying here. Wayne came time from the Supra of single filer. He's under pressure from Nova. Felix is lurking in behind right now. They're going to be tied for points, and I have not read in the rules and in the regulations what's actually the due course of action, if that's how they end. Maybe maybe my man 5 would like to fill us in on what would be the course of action. Is that if that's the scenario here. Felix second down, but the Audi's gaining in the corners. Into the Porsche curves they come. It's the final lap, ladies and gents. Mind you, this one is going to be all the way to the line with single filer now the lead by 0.4 of a second here through the Porsche curves. It's now into Virage Corvette. I don't think Nova's going to be able to get the run here, but of course it's never too late. None of them going wide there on the exit of Corvette, now into the 4 chicanes, but by 0.4 of a second I think that's a bit too much, although that is getting smaller here. But if nothing else happens, that means single filer takes the race win after an absolutely brilliant one. Nova and Felix, well, that completes the podium, and that means they'll be tied for points, and that means I don't know who wins the championship. And it doesn't get any closer than that. Tied for points now. JL in the GTR for VLX make it second, third, and fourth for virtual life experience there. Judoka for DNA in 5th across the line. Actually, DJ get there ahead, and the same goes for Neutron for Kinetic. While Judoka was getting rid of the penalty. The one-stopping Canadian of Phoenix Esports, that's Ethan in the Fess. He's 8th in the end. Chewy 9th for VLX. It's X11 for Kinetic in 10th. And there you have it, the rest of the results with the fullness in 12th. And Escuderia GTMX in 12th. Well, the guy before was in 11th. Another good dirtness in there to end the race on. But it's certainly not been a bad one, has it? What an absolute hammer. I'm going for first, says Single Filer. He certainly did that. He took it. And much applause from me. I think that was a very, very strong race. Indeed. Indeed it was. So yeah, I think that's my first outing here for the eSGT over with. I hope you enjoyed the race. It was a very good race indeed. I'm just gonna do one tiny thing. And just gonna connect to the interview channel. So if anyone wants to have a chat, I'm in Discord. I'm in Discord right about now, and feel free to join in. We don't care for those copyright strikes. So let's just get the results on screen so we can have another look at it. There's Single Filer. In the end, the time gaps will look a bit strange with all those penalties getting taken across the line. Must have been a bit of a toughie in the end. I think the drivers, rightfully so, are a bit frustrated with the penalty situation. It must have been confusing to be in. But what a show in the end. What a show. And I still have to say I'm at a loss as to who's gonna pick this one up, who's gonna take the win. But anyways, it doesn't look like anyone is absolutely dying to talk to us here. And with that said, then I think all that remains to be said from us here at EGTS is EGTS at the eSGT is of course to give us a like and to of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can check more of my stuff and our stuff out over at Have the Race Gone. There's a link in the description. I'll be back the coming Sunday. I don't know if it is that or in 2 weeks time, but it won't be long before I'll be back here on I was about to fuck it up again, eSGT for more very, very good racing indeed. So from me, DirtenDK, it's been a pleasure having you along, and until the next time, take care, have fun, and